Getting set to competing all around for Oklahoma today here in Lexington. And Delaney Rodriguez, as consistent as they get, the vet amongst this young Kentucky team, ready to rock and roll here. Friday Night Heights is presented by Sprouts Farmers Market as we welcome you to historic Memorial Coliseum in Lexington, Kentucky. The Wildcats and the Sooners set to square off in Lexington for the first time as SEC opponents as we welcome you in. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Kennedy Baker. Speaking of the Sooners, they are younger than we're used to, but still putting up these scores that we're accustomed to. And Kennedy, Mackenzie Estep is one of those young faces. Nearly put up a 10 last week with her Yurchenko 1.5 on vault. Yeah, she's leading this freshman charge, Jason, like you said, coming in hot and dynamic, doing really clean gymnastics, looks seasoned, and she's only in her freshman season. She should have a big competition and big career ahead of her. This fall almost got a perfect 10 last week, 9.975, so close to that perfect mark. And she's been fantastic. Gabby Van Frayen, freshman for Kentucky, competing in 3 events as a freshman. She's also been impressive. Yeah, head coach Tim Garrison talked to us and said she is one of the ones he really is looking forward to seeing how her career blossoms. Just got into Kentucky. Different kind of team for Kentucky this year, but she's doing a good job of stepping up throughout the rest of the season as well. See some of those other fresh faces. Ella Murphy and Mackenzie Estep have swept the Freshman of the Week awards so far in the SEC through January. Addison Hofseth, we're going to see her early for Kentucky, leading off on vault as she has done in every meet so far this season. And Kamila Pavlek also been super impressive for the Sooners so far this season. Number 1 Oklahoma, the 7-time national champions, roll in here to Lexington, and Kentucky up for the challenge. They feel like they have prepared well. It just hasn't quite translated to competition so far this season. And now trying to reverse that trend today as Addison Hofseth gears up to lead off on vault for Kentucky. I mentioned she has done that in every meet so far this year, so stepping into a big role as they replace 12 out of 24 postseason routines from a season ago. And Kennedy, anything you're looking for here for Hofseth? Yeah, had a little bit of struggles against LSU last week. Took a really big step back on this Yurchenko full. It only starts from a 9.95. You're that half a tenth down from the 10.0. So she really needs to find her feet coming in off of the table. Much better control, had that step back. Judges can take a half a tenth or 1.5 tenths depending on the size of the step. Smaller size of a step last week, or smaller size than it was last week on this vault. Really good amplitude. Amplitude is one of the words we're going to watch today with the vaults. Amanda Scheidele getting set to go up here for Oklahoma on bars. She got this lineup off to a phenomenal start a week ago with her stuck dismount. And her handstands are absolutely phenomenal here. So that's something to watch with her bar routine. Yeah, Jason, she excels at her handstands. Struggled with an injury, didn't get to see her in those competitive lineups as much last season. Oh, and had a tip on that cast handstand. That was a skill. Actually, she saved it last week. We talked about how good her cast handstands are. She's good at fighting with it with her wrist, just couldn't find it on top of the bar this time. A stick with the dismount. They will take a sizable deduction for that half turn in the middle. Can I see the cast handstand tip again? The mistake. You mentioned last week, Kennedy, that win over number 5 Georgia, the highest score in the nation, 198.425. The first team to break the 198 mark in 2026. So we'll take another look pretty soon here at the Scheidele routine. Next on ball for Kentucky, Cecily Rizzo. Did a great job coming in well on this dismount. Got the landing. An uncharacteristic mistake for Hannah. Now Cecily Rizzo coming up for Kentucky. All-arounder for the first time in her career, getting her day started on the vault. Oh,
Oh, tried to hold on to that landing. You could see she was digging her heels into the ground. That is their last 9.95 start value vault. Everything else starts from a 10.0. Kentucky's been known as a vault team in the past. Actually, one of the first teams to really get the front pike half going in NCAA gymnastics. And we'll see that throughout the rest of this lineup coming up.
Followed up a 9.775 for Hofseth. Out those top 5 scores drop the lowest as the bar score comes in for Shively at a 9.35. Now, Lily Peterson, new bars routine for her this year.
New bar routine and a pressure spot for her as well, Jason. Last week had an error in her routine. Let's see if she can recover from that this week. Great job. That's where she had the mistake last week. KJ said she's a dynamic bar swinger. When she watches Lily in practice, actually said she has one of the highest potentials for 10 in their lineup on this event. Finds her feet to the ground, gets that stick. What a good bounce back for Lily Peterson. The athletes don't have any controls over the score. There was a bit of controversy with that score last week on that mistake. No issues here today. That release is really hard. Head coach KJ Kindler has been working on that swing out. She has a really big swing out of it. Has to find that control. Did a good job finding it today.
New bar routine looking pretty good. Kelly Gardner coming up, the Greenville, South Carolina native.
Their first 10.0 vault. Does that front pike half. A lot of power out of that. You saw that bounce back. I actually liked her form in the air better. Last week her knees were a little bit soft. Today I thought they were straighter, but had that sizable hop backwards. They will take a deduction for that.
I know you feel like she's going to be really good for them in the future.
Yeah, I was talking with head coach Tim Garrison, and I think that she is one of the athletes to watch for coming up in Kentucky. The freshmen are kind of leading the charge with the Kentucky team, but Callie's doing a great job as well. Has really big skills. It's just about finding them and being able to nail them under pressure as well.
So now Ella Murphy, a part of this amazing freshman class for Oklahoma, has one of the SEC Freshman of the Week awards. We got a lot to be excited with her today. We're going to hear some Sinners music later today on the floor. I know you're pumped up for that, but right now, what do you think about the bars routine?
Well, you want to talk about handstands, Jason. We just saw her nail the first one. Ella excels at handstands. She can hold a handstand on the bar for about 30 to a minute long. Doing great work. Struggled on that pirouette actually last week. Much cleaner there today. Tries to find her feet on the dismount. Small deduction on that step. Really clean routine. I'm looking forward to the rest of her career. She's got great lines.
Ryan Noonan, her vault last year versus this year, Kennedy. What's the difference?
We talked about this a lot on our coach calls this week, and it's the height. She's doing a harder vault this year, but head coach Tim Garrison said it's better and higher, and you see it right there. The amplitude difference in that. When we talk about that amplitude, we're talking about the hip rise. If you're from home, check out where their hips are at in the air. See if you can see it with your eye line. Wow, really clean vault for Ryan. Such an improvement in finding her feet there. Really smart upgrade for Kentucky to change this vault. It's higher, it's better. Spots coming in, you can see her eyeballs try to find her feet to the floor, just that shuffle backwards, if you will.
She was following the 9.775 from Gardner as we see Addison Feta step up here on the bars for Oklahoma. She is so impressive, going to compete in the all-around today.
Beautiful job on that opening release move. It's called a church, and it's very difficult to release over the bar, but especially with your feet together. Finds her feet to the floor like it's nothing. And Addison is one of their highest scorers, but also most consistent athletes on the team. Struggled with this release a little bit earlier in the season, had a mistake. against Missouri. No issues today. Super clean form in the air.
Now Delaney Rodriguez coming up on vault. For Kentucky, they have had inconsistency this year, but the consistency has come from Delaney Rodriguez. She's one of the most consistent gymnasts you'll watch in the country.
An incredible gymnast. Also upgraded this vault from last season, was only doing a Yurchenko full. Wants to get more points on the board for her team. Finds her feet. Nice job, Delaney. That's her first stick on that Yurchenko 1.5 this season. Nails that 10.0 star value vault. Really well done from the junior. You'll notice on those 1.5s, it matters the timing of your arms flaring out to the side. You've got to be patient enough to wait to see the landing before you flare them out. She did a good job doing that today.
They like to use the word unfazed to describe Delaney Rodriguez. You see why there is Mackenzie Estep. She has been unfazed in her freshman year so far. 2 SEC Freshman of the Week awards coming up here on the bars.
Starts with this opening to Tkachev. Difficult release move to do. She executes it incredibly well. I want you to check out this dismount. She does this blind full straight into her dismount. So hard to connect. Holds on to it. Keeps those heels planted down. She has an exciting career ahead of her. Really well done on that release. Slightly bent elbows, if I'm being picky. Judges are looking for those elbows to be locked out when they catch the bars.
So Kentucky off to a good start in the vault here. If they can get a 9.95 from Cashin, they could set a new season high on the vault here at home.
Well, head coach Tim Garrison said she has the potential to go 10 on this.
What do you think?
Tried to find it.
Vault has been her most successful event so far.
They'll take a deduction for that step. Notice what direction she stepped in. She lands and she steps forward. It shows a little lack of amplitude when they take that step forwards. On those front pike half vaults, you want to see them take a step backwards if they're taking a step.
So there's that word again, amplitude, popping up. Faye Torres, she's really stepped into the leadership role for Oklahoma this year. Again, younger roster, but they know what they're going to get out of her from a leadership standpoint.
Head coach KJ Kindler has been impressed with her leadership this year. Says she's been more vocal, and it's the energy that they've needed with this team. Good effort with the dismount, small hop backwards. You'll notice those legs were apart. Luckily, the judges are from the side. They might have missed that in the dismount. On those layouts, you want to see the feet completely together. Looked like she was a little short, so.
Just getting the party started. Don't forget, coming up, we'll send you to Columbia. Number 7 Missouri hosting number 2 LSU, and Sunday wrap the weekend with Auburn squaring off against Georgia at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Both meets are also on the ESPN app. Right after this, got a fun one. Tigers put up a school record performance in their home opener last week against this Kentucky team. Well, that'll wrap rotation 1, so we'll give you the scores when we come back as they settle in here. Friday Night Heights is presented by Sprouts. We welcome you back to historic Memorial Coliseum. You'll see the scores after the first rotation. Slight edge for Oklahoma. KJ Kindler, her team, of course, the 7-time national champs, the reigning national champions. This year, as we noted, a younger group than usual, including 4 new faces on the floor. However, KJ Kindler and her staff, 20 years in, they are ready for it if it is a challenge. Just a new setting for them this year, but still putting up the scores that we're used to.
We lost some incredible seniors last year. We have new leaders, 2 seniors only, a very young team, 11 of 17. our underclassmen.
I'm so excited. It's been such a great preseason. Our class has been really special. We've created such a close bond within each other.
They're amazing, they're confident, they have such strong personalities, and they're here to work.
I'm super excited to see them compete this year because they put so much effort and hard work into the gym. They're so ready, and I'm excited for them to experience this for the first time.
We have 50% of our routines to fill. That's huge. It's like having half a new team. I think we're gonna learn a lot during the season as long as we take it one step at a time and stay in the moment. I feel like we're really gonna move this team forward.
You can hear the excitement, not phased at all. Addison Feda getting ready there, and this Oklahoma group off to a red-hot start. Put up a record home score last week, trying to carry that over to today. Broke 198 a week ago. This stacked lineup with so much depth. Rotation 2, we'll see Oklahoma on the vault. We'll see Kentucky on the bars. Lily Peterson will lead off on the vault for Oklahoma. Cecily Rizzo will lead off on the bars for Kentucky. Now, Oklahoma, slight edge after the first rotation. Their first ever visit to Lexington for an SEC competition between these two schools. Oklahoma leading 49-2. Number 1 team in the country on the road today here in Lexington. And Kentucky set to come up on the bars here. Kennedy, I know one of the routines you're looking for Kentucky is Ryan Noonan. We talked about her vault. What do you think about her bar routine?
Her bar routine is incredible too. Looking forward to seeing that as well. Has made a big upgrade this season. And this release move right here, check this out. It's very high. When her shape's more hollow, like on the left side, she gets that swing out of it and then has a really high swing to her low bar release right there. Looking to see if she does that today as well.
She's going to move slightly back in the lineup today. Of course, still in it, but just a little shakeup in the order of the lineup. She had a 9.875 on bars last week. Lily Peterson set to lead off here on vault for Oklahoma.
Head coach KJ Kindler has played with her spot on vault. She's only 4'10". Clean vault. Probably the best one she's done so far this season. Well done for Lily, reminding the audience she is only 4'10", so she doesn't get as far away from the table, but it's so well executed. Flare those arms out at just the right moment.
One other note on that Oklahoma vault lineup, you see Anna Scheibele in there for the first time this season, slotting in for Blessy. So now Cecily Rizzo going to lead off here on bars for Kentucky.
Nice job. Cecily has really clean lines, especially on bars. Robs with a dismount. Kentucky excels at their double layouts. They get a lot of height off of the bar. Gets the stick train going for Kentucky. Cecily doing a good job. Nice height. That's called a Jaeger. You'll notice too, reminding that the judges are on the side. We can see from our angle when those feet are apart, they might not be able to see that same error in their legs on those dismounts.
So now Kira Wells, we were wondering if she would be in the lineup today, and she is. She was a little banged up, so good to see her out there following Lily Peterson.
Wow! That was so good for Kira. OU will appreciate that stick in the lineup, getting it going. Great job for Kira. Her form in the air was spectacular. Mentioned that ankle sprain earlier with a little bit of that tweaked ankle as well, getting the stick. Super impressive, Jason.
Really on no training this week because of that ankle sprain. Was very limited in practice, but shows up big today. As now Isabella Ravelli tries to follow the Cecily Rizzo 975 here on bars.
And a great improvement for Isabella. She has missed that release a couple times this season. Head coach Tim Garrison changed her spot this week, put her up second. And a much better routine from her. Great improvement this week.
Kennedy, let me ask you this, with some of the issues Kentucky has had with falls, how important was it to see that stuck landing to kick off the lineup in terms of trying to get contagious in a positive way?
Yeah, and the way that balls can be contagious, sticks can be contagious. And when you can get it going with a stick, it's easy for the rest of the lineup to fall in line.
Cecily Rizzo started that lineup off hot, Ravelli following it.
And a lineup change, actually. Originally, Elizabeth Blessy was in the lineup for vault. Now we've got Hannah Shively in.
Yep.
She does the same vault that Elizabeth Blessy does. She does a front pike half off the table. Wow! So good for Hannah, and what a great recovery after the bar mistake as well. We've seen Hannah on vault in her freshman season. Has such a dynamic vault. Look how high she gets off the table.
She was really a vault specialist as a freshman. All-American in that event, and now back. Great to see her back in that spot. As Kennedy mentioned, slotting in for Blessy. Gabby Van Freyne, who competes in 3 events as a freshman for Kentucky, coming up next year on the bars.
Head coach Tim Garrison says Gabby Van Freyne still has a lot to give. Only in her freshman season, trying to find her groove. Tried to find those feet to the floor. Legs were a little bit too straight. When you see these athletes stick, you'll notice the best, easiest sticks are the ones that have those knees plied and softly bent when they hit the ground.
Mackenzie Estep was phenomenal on the vaults a week ago. Stuck her Yurchenko 1.5, got a 10 from one judge. Afterwards in the press conference, KJ just kind of turned to her, just said you need that second 10, another judge now. That's how you get a 10. So she knows that, and we know she has the capability to get it. Now here we go.
Well, she's been set up well by Hannah and Kira. Wow, another stick for OU, super impressive. Those judges will take a 1/10 deduction for an arm circle, but no deduction for those feet. Mackenzie does a great job of opening at the right time right there. It's impressive when I see them stick these vaults as freshmen. Coming in, that's a blind landing. When you see them facing forward, that means their feet, they're not seeing them come to the ground necessarily. They've got to feel the timing in the air. And to have that patience, usually you see someone a little bit more mature, but Mackenzie looks like a seasoned senior out there.
Chesney Bennett coming up on the bars here for Kentucky, following the 9.75 from Gabby Van Freyen.
Good work throughout this routine. Does this right into her dismount, has to have good swing. A step on that landing. She stepped forward, so the judges will take an under rotation deduction as well. But Chesney is such a gamer, and I love that her feet were together throughout that double layout. One of the cleanest ones that we've seen so far.
Tim Garrison feels like she's one of the people they can build around for this program, as Elle Miller now comes up for Oklahoma.
Good effort. Actually, I thought she missed her hands a little bit on the table. She did a great job of waiting on the block before she left. Well done. You talked about building the program around. Elle Miller is another one that they're developing this program, and she is just thriving in it.
We'll also see her on the floor and the beam today. Ryan Noonan, we've said her name quite a bit already in this meet. Getting set to come up on the bars for Kentucky, following the 9.8 for Chesney Bennett, which is the highest score so far in this rotation 2 for the Wildcats.
Nice clean release there. Had that back hollow, so got a little bit higher on that swing down to the low bar. Two-step dismounts in a row for Ryan Noonan, and she is automatic on that double layout. A rinse and repeat of her performance against LSU, another stick. Head coach Tim Garrison is impressed with her work ethic this season, has worked really hard to get these skills looking well and seasoned and ready to go for Kentucky.
I think you were featuring her routine today, your teaching segment. Had to make it look good. Addison Feda anchoring this vault lineup for Oklahoma.
Finds her feet. The judges need to see that salute held for one clear second to get the stick. We'll leave it up to their discretion. If they think that that was 1 second, I would give her the stick. But it's their choice. Addison's done the vault and stuck it so many times.
We'll see what that Feda score ends up being. Delaney Rodriguez trying to cap off what has been a really solid bar lineup here in rotation 2 for Kentucky. They like to have her at the end of these lineups.
Which is a different spot for her this year, Jason. In the past, and she's used to being in this leadoff role, but head coach Tim Garrison said he could put her anywhere, and he's gonna get a hit out of her. Great stick for Delaney. That's gonna be their highest bar score in this rotation. Hopefully she'll break that 9-9. So much height on this release move. I like that she caught the bar with completely locked out elbows.
We have a men's hoops quadruple header for you tomorrow that starts at 1 Eastern. It'll be capped off by this matchup. Vandy at Ole Miss at night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. That should be a fun one tomorrow night in the SEC. Waiting for this last score to come in here. You see the score that is shaded in gray is the one you would drop, the lowest of those scores. Comes in Delaney Rodriguez, 9.850, so identical to the Ryan Noonan score, and a solid lineup for Tim Garrison's squad. Addison Feda capped it off there very cleanly for Oklahoma in that second rotation on the vault. More coming up on the other side here in Lexington. halfway home. Right on Euclid Avenue, Memorial Coliseum sits hosting #1 Oklahoma today, and the Sooners sit atop after 2 rotations here in Lexington. Welcome in Jason Ross Jr. alongside Kennedy Baker. Maybe the most consistent performance so far for Kentucky this season. Kennedy, definitely positive energy when you talk about flipping the script from falls to stuck landings.
Yeah, Kentucky's done a great job of building the momentum and keeping it going. They have a really big test coming up. They've had some struggles on beam this season. Looking forward to seeing their performance.
On the Oklahoma side of things, we have seen their depth on display to this point. Is right there. Delaney Rodriguez, one of the leaders for this Kentucky team. And Kennedy, we talked with her about the vision boards they created going into the season. First time they have done that this year. Really cool. She had everyone kind of collect 5 to 10 photos of really the identity they wanted to have this season, goals they wanted to accomplish, and at the center of it for Team 52, the motto is take it all. So they put take it all at the center of that board, along with all the other chemistry activities. They felt that would be super impactful for this year. As you see, Delaney Rodriguez talked about her going from that leadoff spot as a freshman to now where she is now at the tail end of lineups, which has really been her role so far today. And not only that, but she's got the very important role of being the vet on a very young team.
Yeah, this is a new role for Delaney. We're used to her consistency, but she has had to step up in this leadership role as well. Head coach Tim Garrison has been impressed with her leadership. He's looking for her to take charge of this team and get them back to glory and going.
She is going to be at the tail end of that beam lineup, anchoring it into rotation 3 for the Kentucky fans of all generations today. We'll see Kamila Havelak amongst others on the floor for Oklahoma. And Delaney Rodriguez coming up here in Lexington. Bring you back into Lexington. Jason Ross Jr. and Kennedy Baker with you as you see the Sooners edge after 2 rotations. Meet summary so far to this point. Really for Kentucky, it has been a trend of positivity today after they've dealt with falls uncharacteristically really throughout the course of the season relative to the past years we've seen them under Tim Garrison. And right now finding that streak of stuck landings and going up on the beam here, which as we have noted in the past, they've been known for being good on the beam in the past, but this year it's been up and down.
Yeah, Jason, they've had uncharacteristic struggles this season on beam. Not something we're used to seeing from this Kentucky team. Cecily Rizzo with a big job right now has fallen in the last 2 meets on these skills right here. Great job on the front aerial.
You said to me at breakfast today, it feels like beam could maybe make or break the meet for them.
It absolutely will make or break. And that was so important. She's had a mistake on that the past 2 weeks. I was talking with head coach Tim Garrison about, well, we talked about how sticks can be contagious, falls can be contagious too, and it's a mental battle right now for Kentucky. Cecily doing a great job of building off the momentum they got on bars into beam. Beautiful full turn. Nice job for Cecily Rizzo on that routine. I'm sure that felt so good to get a hit starting off for Kentucky on beam. It's a big job. We've seen Delaney Rodriguez in this role the past 2 years. They've been trying to find somebody that can fit that role this year. He even thought about putting Delaney back first, but feels like she has higher scoring potential at that 6th anchor spot.
So now here comes Lily Peterson. When you ask people around Oklahoma, they'll say we had about 3.5 new faces on the floor because Peterson has competed in it in the past as a freshman, but more of a full-time stay now here.
And she's adjusted this routine slightly from last year as well. Nice job on her front double twist. That's an E-level tumbling pass. The hardest skills in the gymnastics universe. Get the D's, E's, and F's in the alphabet. It's how we differentiate our skills. But this last pass for her is new this year. Changed it. Instead of doing a 2.5 twist, she does a double twist. Had struggles in warm-up finding her feet a little bit. Easy money on that one. Oklahoma puts a lot of emphasis on their leaps. Clean start for Lily. Did a nice job finding her feet to the ground here. It's hard on those blind landings and twisting passes to find the ground. Nailed that double twist as well. Great job on a newer skill for her this year.
Now Kreslin Brose coming up for Kentucky.
Made her season beam debut last week against LSU. Kreslin likes challenges in her skills. Starts with this difficult front tuck. The only one in the competition that does that skill because it is just so hard.
Emerged out of the concussion protocol, missed 4.5 weeks, but they said it never felt like she left.
And also they said they feel this confidence seeing her in the lineups as well. Also one of the leaders to look for on this team for Kentucky. Kreslin's such a fun and dynamic person, likes doing hard skills. You're also gonna see her do 3 passes in her floor routine as well. Wow, their full turns are so good. Every athlete's required to do that full turn, but you're not gonna see a lot of them land on releve like Cecily Kreslin just did and finds her feet on that dismount. Strong routine from Kreslin Brose. This is the Kentucky gymnastics that we're used to on beam.
I was just gonna say, I got chills as you were saying that because it feels like a different vibe today for Kentucky. You're of course at home, but the energy internally feels different, followed up by the energy of this home crowd.
Next on floor for Oklahoma, Ella Murphy.
Here we go, Jason.
This is what you were looking forward to, the Sinners music for Ella Murphy.
Head coach KJ Kindler said she played this in the gym and Ella immediately said, that,
I love it, I want
that.
it. I need it right now.
Great job on that first pass. Just the last pass left for Ella. All of Oklahoma's lineups do 2 pass routines. While we as an audience might want to see 3 passes, as a coach, it is smart to only do 2 passes. That means you're getting less deductions if you can make it up in leaps, which Oklahoma excels at. Nice job for Ella.
It's a beautiful routine, and Kennedy at borderline turned into a movie podcast after chatting with KJ Kindler about Ella's floor routine for today and the Sinners inspiration, as we talked about, nominated for Best Picture. And KJ thinks it should win, and she thinks it should win a 10 in the routine for Ella Murphy. Maybe it will at some point, but that was a fun routine to watch. And See assistant coach Tom Haley there. He brings a lot of fire to that staff and fire to the floor routine for Oklahoma as Sharon Lee steps up here on the beam for Kentucky, following the 9.875 from Kreslin Bros.
A big test for Sharon Lee as well. Has had mistakes in the first couple of meets. Actually fell last week at LSU on that series right there. Oh, great save. That's actually the second time that I've seen her save that series. Sharon Lee is a great beam worker. But like we said, those falls are contagious. And when you have falls 1 and 2 meets in a row, it does get to your mental a little bit.
How do you get out of that?
Well, she did a good job of recovering even today. Staying on the beam is step 1 in getting out of it. But really just practice. Head coach Tim Garrison said the assignments that he sees on beam have him in shock that they're so difficult and they always complete them. So now it's really just the mental aspect that they're training to get back to that consistency we've seen from them in the past. Good effort, staying on the beam. That will be a good confidence booster. She had not only a mistake last week, actually kind of crashed on this series. That back foot was just a little bit turned out. Good job staying on the beam though. You don't want to count a fall, but if you do, they might have to use her score.
Kamila Pavlak coming up now here on the floor. She's going to go up against her sister, by the way, next week. Natalia Pavlak, who's on Alabama. That'll be on SEC Network next week when Oklahoma squares off with the Tide.
I'll be there, Jason, and I can't wait to see that meet as well. When I talked to associate coach Lou Ball, he said that Kamila actually is capable of doing a full in on that pass right there. So well done as well on that double pike, but she has an E-pass waiting in the wings. They want to get her out here, get some meets under her belt before they debut that first. Kamila is a perfectionist though. Did about 4 or 5 double pikes just in the warm-up. Wanted to make sure she was exactly correct for the competition. Looking good so far. You know, Jason, we talked about Oklahoma's execution. It's something that they excel at. And you see that in their leaps and their basics. They put a lot of emphasis on drills before they even start doing the skills over the summertime. And it pays off in the dance and in moments like this right here. Legs are completely extended, have that scoop back. Judges want to see that front foot planted in the lunge. It's not a deduction step to the lunge, but they need to see the foot planted.
You hear so often that the Sooners hold their technique so well. The consistency of it is stepping up on the beam here. Chesney Bennett. She actually had a fall in the warm-up on beam last week, hit her knee on the beam, still got up, and ended up having to go after a fall in the actual competition, handle it all like a champ. One thing in this routine, Kennedy, that you wanted to point out is she starts in the middle of the beam for her triple series.
Yeah, she starts really far back. I was impressed. Wow, nice job on that triple series last week against LSU. She had that mistake, like you said, in the warm-up, and also came in a little too close to the end, had to lunge forwards. Shows how her confidence and awareness shines throughout this routine. A little short in that back leg. The judges need to see those splits at 180 degrees. Well done on the dismount, easy stick. Kentucky is using that momentum and going. Already their best beam performance so far this season. And this leap right there in the back leg, you'll just see it was a little shy. The judges want that all the way even with the front leg.
We'll see what score ends up coming up there for Chesney Bennett. Meanwhile, Addison Feda continues her role in the all-around today, coming up on the floor.
And this first pass is new for her this season, Jason. Played around with it over the summertime, stuck and cleaned it up in the preseason. Had some issues with it in the warm-up. And a little stutter out of it there. Nice job actually recovering from that. You'll see her foot didn't keep the momentum going after the first skill. That is a difficult skill to connect out of. Nice close for Addison. Let's take a look at this first pass again. This is where that mistake was. You'll see her foot slightly stuttered and didn't get the rotation for the second skill. Had those feet in front on the 2.5 twist. Great job with this front double twist though. Right into the choreography, very clean.
We had so much fun chatting with Addison earlier this week. You don't think many things would be intimidating for KJ Kindler, but she said it was intimidating that Addison was coached by her parents her entire life up until now and taken over that role. As we see Gabby Van Freyen, third event for her out of 3 that the freshman for Kentucky competes in.
There's 2 of the hardest series in NCAA right now, and Gabby does it on Kentucky right there. Nice save. She struggled with that this season. Came into school with that series, but it's so difficult when you are doing 2 elements in a row with a twist anywhere in those 2 elements. You've got to be completely straight.
Kennedy, what does Gabby being ambidextrous mean to you on the beam here?
It means a lot to me. I think it shows in that acro series that we just saw her ability to use both sides of her body. It's impressive.
It's so interesting. The beam has been her best event.
She stays on the beam. They're going to take a sizable deduction for that series. You can't see where your feet are coming down, so you really got to be straight over the top on that second skill. Nice job finding her feet to the ground.
And catching you up if you tuned in late, Oklahoma led by .625 after 2 rotations. Strong start though for Kentucky in this meet, back at home today. Now Elle Miller coming up on the floor for Oklahoma, following the Addison Feda score, which as you see on your screen would currently be the one that you drop as the score shaded in gray. Out of the 6, as of course Mackenzie Estep will still come up after Miller in this rotation for Oklahoma.
And the music wasn't ready, so you just saw her exit the floor.
Kind of have to mentally reset here.
Head coach KJ Kindler does all of the Oklahoma choreography as well as mixing the music. Did a great job on Elle's performance this year. I really love her dance. A little short. You saw those feet were slightly behind coming out of that front 1.5 twist. Good recovery from Elle throughout the rest of that routine. Just that slight stumble out of this pass. Not this pass. This pass was awesome. Had that chest position just right. This pass, you'll see she came in just a little short. Watch those feet. See how they're behind her body a little bit. You want them directly underneath.
Now, big routine coming up here for Kentucky. Mentioned OU led by .625 after 2 rotations. If Delaney Rodriguez can get a 9.85 here, she could overtake Addison Feda in the all-around and possibly give Kentucky its first 49 on beam this season. So, big routine here in the anchor role for Rodriguez.
Difficult triple series. And does exactly what she always does. Like we said earlier, head coach Tim Garrison said he can put her anywhere and he's gonna get a hit out of her. Used to lead off for Kentucky, now sitting in this anchor spot, responds to the pressure just the same. Just the dismount. Left. Stuck it cold last week. Might be their first 9-9 plus score if she can get it. Finds it easily like she always does, and that will be Kentucky's highest beam score this rotation. Teammates are chanting 10, and a great bounce back for Kentucky on beam. I loved the control she had on that side flip. It's difficult to land skill sideways. You're losing eye contact with the beam and you're facing the crowd.
To the tune of "You Should Probably Leave" by Chris Stapleton. She gets the job done.
She said, okay, I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go. Mackenzie Estep coming up here on the floor for Oklahoma.
This first pass is impressive to me. She does a layout into it. Tried to work out of it. Looked like her legs buckled a little bit on the first skill. Couldn't get that rise in amplitude we usually see on that second skill from her. Is difficult. 2.5 twist. Has to know where she's at in the air exactly. Finds it so easily. I like the way that Oklahoma dances out of their passes. Sometimes it looks uncontrolled maybe from other teams, but never Oklahoma. Just speaks to their clean gymnastics and technique. Wraps it well for the freshman. Had that slight fumble out of this. Feet were a little bit too far in front coming out of it. Really high on this pass though. Does a great job flaring her arms out at the right moment.
Last time today that we'll see the super impressive freshman for Oklahoma. The beginning of what's bound to be a brilliant career for ESTEP. Already 2 SEC Freshman of the Week awards. And we mentioned that 49 that Kentucky was aiming for in this rotation. You mentioned how good of a bounce back it was on being here. They've got it after Rodriguez gets the 9-9. We were anticipating that being a high score. Her teammates wanted the 10, but they'll get enough to have the rotation total as a 49. So that is really big for Kentucky there, just mentally being back at home and really off to a strong start as we get set for now the final rotation after this. It does officially come in now. ESTEP score at 9.85. And Oklahoma leading after 3 rotations here in Lexington at historic Memorial Coliseum. Fun start to this meet. Our next SEC story. It premieres Friday, February 13th at 10:30 Eastern. After LSU's gymnastics meet against Auburn, it chronicles the 43-year career and legacy of LSU gymnastics head coach Dee Bro, a relentless trailblazer whose career mirrors the evolution of women's collegiate athletics. Cannot wait to see this. Super fired up. What a legend Dee is. The documentary is available right now on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. See KJ Kindler, a legend in her own right. Her group at the top of that NCAA top 10. See the average this season, hit 198 last week. First team to break that in 2026. So just getting the party started again here on SEC Network. Got some really fun stuff coming up next between LSU and Missouri. Caitlin Chio, the sophomore, has been phenomenal. Posted the nation's highest all-around score last week, second highest all-around score. Put up the 10 on beam. It was the second 10 in her career. A really phenomenal start. Hannah Horton as well coming up for Missouri. So we got a lot of talent on display between those two teams. LSU and Missouri, Oregon State and Alabama, Arkansas, Florida as well over on ESPN2. Really fun stuff all around here tonight and throughout the course of the weekend. Next up here in Lexington, the final rotation on the horizon between Oklahoma and Kentucky. So Oklahoma has extended the lead to .95 after 3 rotations, but Kentucky on pace to break a 196 for the first time this season and trying to do it in front of the home crowd against the #1 team in the country and 7-time national champion Oklahoma Sooners. You see there our meet summary so far to this point. Delaney Rodriguez hitting that 9-9 on beam. That was big to hit a 49 in terms of the entire rotation for the first time this season on beam for Kentucky, an event that they've struggled in this season but historically have been really good in. You see the all-around Delaney Rodriguez after the 9-9 pacing the way there. Addison Feda right behind her, Lily Peterson and Cecily Rizzo, as well as KJ Kindler getting her team fired up here for the beam, an event that they of course are very strong on as well. Addison Feda will lead it off for Oklahoma on the beam. Gabby Van Freen going to lead off on floor for Kentucky. And here we go.
Oklahoma has had really strong leadoffs on beam in the past, and Addison Feda is no different than them. Started off last week with a 9.95.
By the way, Addison, her family lives on a farm. They have 2 donkeys. You would never guess what the names are of the 2 donkeys, Boomer and Sooner. Fitting where her journey has taken her and become the family journey as well.
You'll notice head coach KJ Kindler in the back. She loves standing behind the beam, wants to see the alignment of their feet and their hips, if they're over the top of it. Really clean routine from Addison.
Saw KJ chatting with her. She told us her favorite thing about coaching Addison. She's simply a sponge, very detail oriented. Mentioned she was coached by her parents her entire life up until college.
Yeah, it wasn't as difficult as she thought it was going to be with a new coaching staff. I can imagine only having your parents your whole life. I would be shook. With this gainer full, finds her feet again. That dismount and routine is so consistent. Really well done. Such clean execution throughout. Their lineup is hard to break into.
Now Gabby Van Freyen coming up on the floor here for Kentucky to lead things off, the freshman.
Opens with this wolf double turn. Well done. Kentucky's floor choreography is performed by one of their own, Cadence Gormley. Collaborates with all of her teammates to find the music and the choreo that fits them best. Did a good job this year. Strong routines from them. Just the last pass left. Something different than Oklahoma. Kentucky actually takes the challenge. They do a lot of 3-pass routines. You're gonna see throughout the lineup. Well done. Nice start to this floor rotation for Kentucky. Had nice, clean tumbling. A little short in that 1.5 twist. Judges want to see those feet side by side. She was a little bit staggered, but that's me being nitpicky. She did a great job starting off.
Now here comes Kira Wells, a staple in both the beam and vault lineup. Again, we weren't sure if she would go today with the sprained ankle last week, but she was ready, and you call her, Kennedy, maybe the most under-the-radar GOAT that you might find around the SEC?
She is my GOAT for this team, Jason. I talked to head coach KJ Kindler about Kira specifically. Watch this first skill she does. So difficult to do. She switches legs in the middle of what would be a side aerial normally. If you're at home, do a cartwheel safely with your left foot in front and try and land on your left foot, because that's what she's doing on the beam without her hands. I also really like the composition of Kira's routine. It shows her confidence, ends with her acro series at the end of her routine. Most athletes do it in the beginning.
I wonder how many people will be crashing into their walls tonight trying cartwheels, attempting to land on their left foot. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Wow. Kira's got sticky feet tonight. Stuck that 1.5 on vault for the first time. Nailed that 1.5 off the beam. That is why Kira Wells is my GOAT.
She lands it safely. We'll look at it again here.
Look at this skill. If you're in your living room, please be safe.
on the floor for Kentucky, Chesney Bennett.
Chesney Bennett coming up here on the floor for Kentucky, following the 9-8 from Gabby Van Frey.
Well done for Chesney. Head coach Tim Garrison said she's such a gamer. When the competition is up, she turns it on. She's ready to go. Also, I mentioned that challenge of 3 passes. She is the first in this lineup that you're gonna see do that. Has great endurance and strength. Liked that front full. Her legs were super straight coming down to the floor. Just the last pass left. Closes with this double tuck. Strong routine from Chesney Bennett, the sophomore. One of her best so far this season. Really clean form in the air. See how straight those legs are coming into the ground. That's exactly what the judges want to see. And again, nice chest up on this lunge as well. Great control out of it.
So before that Bennett routine, Oklahoma was leading the meet by 10.925. Led after the 3rd rotation, and now Ella Murphy comes up on the beam in her final routine of the day.
I mentioned Ella's lines and extension on bars. You'll see it on beam as well. A beautiful dancer. So strong. Head coach KJ Kindler has a lot of trust in her as well, has her further back in this lineup as a freshman. Very impressive. I like this skill. She connects it directly into her dance. Small shoulder check out of that. Beautiful job on that ring jump. The extension that she hits the air. And again, extends down from her dismount to get the stick. Good effort. Just a slight shoulder check, but that's minimum deduction.
You think that's what KJ's talking to you about right now? It's just do a lot of good hyping up as well.
Yes, yeah. I would love to know what KJ says to them after each routine.
So now Callie Gardner coming up, who transferred from Towson, entered the transfer portal, felt like Kentucky was just home. And now here is her floor routine.
We've mentioned her potential throughout the meet so far, and this is an event that she can really shine on. Fly super high in the air. Their first tumbling pass. Wow! That was such an improvement. Had a little bit loose form in the air last week. Not this week, though. Callie's got a lot of power in her gymnastics. You're gonna see it on this front through to double tuck up next. Nice landing from Callie. We've talked about the momentum that they've had. It seems like vault, they started so strong and they've just steamrolled that all the way to floor. Check out the height on this. Finds her feet, a little bit bigger lunge, but well done in the air. And again, gets the chest up quick in that lunge on the last pass.
Like you said, that energy carrying over for Kentucky right now. Lily Peterson going to step up on the beam for Oklahoma. Sooners have at least about a 2-fall cushion right now to win this meet as we get down the final stretch here in rotation 4.
Lily was a staple in this beam lineup last year as well. Has confident gymnastics. You're gonna see these lunges super sharp after this acro series especially.
Both coaches emphasize to us, beam is the event with the slimmest margin for error. And Oklahoma just does not look phased one bit.
Yeah, for some teams, beam might be the scary event. OU is not one of those teams. Oh, finds her feet so well on that dismount. Good job, Lily. Such a clean stick. She's been working on finding her feet on that double twist. I love the way that she landed this. The chest is up quickly.
Now Cecily Rizzo mentioned competing in the all-around for the first time in her career. She had a 9.725 on floor last week. We'll see what she can do here following the 9.85 from Callie Gardner.
Cecily's one of my favorite routines in this lineup as well. Such expressive dance. Well done for Cecily. You said this is her first season in the all-around. Challenging. It's a different kind of endurance that you have to develop when you're competing all 4 events. Put effort into keeping her front foot planted. Another one in this lineup that also performs 3 passes, has really amped up her endurance this year. Nice finish for Cecily on that last pass as well. We mentioned the technique in the form for Oklahoma. Kentucky excels as that as well. We see it really strongly in Cecily's routine. Her extension is exquisite to me. I like how straight her legs get. Shows off the toe point in her skills as well.
This meet has been more like what they put on those vision boards at the beginning of the season, what they wanted to look like. Ella Miller made her collegiate beam debut a week ago. Here she is following up a 9.9, which matches the highest score that Lily Peterson set. Kiera Wells also had a 9.9 in this rotation. Here's Elle.
save on her acro series there. Back foot was a little bit turned out, had to work to keep it on top of the beam. Elle with just this dismount left. Has that blind landing coming out of it.
Elle Miller.
Great job saving this series. You'll see that back foot is, the heel is off, the toes are off. KJ might have helped her stay on the beam a little bit.
Over there. It's like saving via osmosis.
Delaney Rodriguez.
So Delaney Rodriguez is going to come up next on the floor for Kentucky. She needs a 9.875 for a new career high in the all-around, and a 9.825 to win it.
Another 3-pass routine for Kentucky. I know I'm putting emphasis on the 3 passes, but they're becoming more and more uncommon in gymnastics. It's a risk to do 3 passes because you could incur more deduction with the current rules in place. I love the way she performs that first pass. We usually see a layout step out of that. She does a layout 2-foot. Wow. Delaney's sticks are incredibly clean. Doesn't let the judges doubt where her feet are at all. Strong routine from Delaney.
Take a look at these last 2 tumbling passes here, Kennedy.
I love the height she gets on this as well. Almost so high she doesn't need to grab her legs. Directly to the lunge as well on that last pass.
All Delaney needs is a 9.6 to secure Kentucky's first 196 of the season as a team. And now Faith Torres, the 2025 SEC Beam Champ, speaking of depth for Oklahoma, is how they get to round out this final rotation.
Okay, so earlier I said 2 of the hardest series in NCAA are in this meet. Gabby was the first one on Kentucky. Faith Torres is the second one for OU. Check this out. She's got to be straight on the first skill. Does the side aerial twist into it before the layout.
It's a great angle from our crew. That's awesome stuff.
Faith competes beam like she's on the floor. More than comfortable. They can play with a lot of skills with Faith. Not anymore because she's a senior, but she is capable of doing a tuck standing full. Sticks it cleanly. Anchors so strongly for Oklahoma. A national champion on the beam as well. Her flare out on that dismount is impressive. You don't see a lot of athletes open their hips as much as Faith. Well done.
You're saying we're running out of amount of different ways she can be amazing. You can play with. Breslin Bros coming up to cap things off on the floor here.
I had a lot of questions for Kreslin Rose in our interview earlier this week about this routine. I wanted to know what went into it, the choreography, the gymnastics. She does difficult gymnastics. Actually, head coach Tim Garrison approached her and said, you can do a 2-pass routine. We can make this easier. And Kreslin said, no.
Let's do 3.
We're doing 3.
Let's do 3.
Only the 4th Kentucky gymnast to score a perfect 10. Got it last year. Kreslin said when her and Cadence Gormley were deciding her music, usually they go through a couple of options, but this year she sent it and immediately loved it. Closes with this front double twist. We've seen most athletes this competition open with this pass. She ends with it 3rd. So floaty. Wow.
I mean, today just felt different for Kentucky. Their last 4 gymnasts have had either a season or career high. This was a phenomenal routine.
Such good form. You see the extension and technique in Kentucky as well, like right there. And here on this front double twist, you would think this is her first pass. The way that she performs it, the height she gets.
Women's basketball takes over the SEC Network every Sunday. We have a triple header for you. Number 6 LSU hosting number 24 Alabama at noon Eastern at the PMAC in Baton Rouge. Then number 18 Kentucky taking on Arkansas. Wildcat fans tune into that one. And afternoon is capped off by 5th-ranked Vandy. Right, future ahead here for Vandy hosting Florida at Historic Memorial Coliseum in Nashville. All 3 are also available on the ESPN app. So you see here the final scores. Oklahoma wins the meet, but Kentucky, their first time this season hitting a 196, and really a fantastic day for Kentucky, bouncing back from last week, and Oklahoma continues their fantastic trends to begin the year. By Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the Southeastern Conference. Seeing highlights there from Addison Feda, who had a phenomenal day here in Lexington. And now Addison joins us right here alongside Kennedy Baker. I'm Jason Ross Jr. So Addison, you talked to us earlier this week about the team retreat your group went on before the season, how that really gelled the chemistry. How do you see the smile that you're now wearing after these meets, with a lot of wins racking up here, play a role in the happiness of your gymnastics in the actual competition?
Yeah, we're all family, and it's so much fun being able to compete alongside one another. We support each other, and we feed off of the energy from one another, so it's a pretty amazing experience.
Addison, congrats on your 2nd back-to-back all-around win. First time in Kentucky in a while. What was your favorite part about competing today?
Yeah, the crowd was amazing. I love the arena. Again, we fed off the energy from the crowd. They really showed up, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You mentioned how, you told me earlier this week, you take pride in these road atmospheres, the juice that it gives your group to go in and get a road win. What does that mean to this team moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible feeling, and we're honored to be here competing against Kentucky. And it was so much fun with the audience, and they did a really good job at cheering, and they were very loud, and it created an amazing atmosphere.
Had another SEC meet, have another one followed up next week. How do you build off of this momentum, and what are you taking from this meet?
Yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvement for myself mainly. There's always room for improvement, and I think we're just excited. Each meet we build off of the meet before, so we're just excited to get up there again.
Yeah, totally.
Addison, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another fantastic day for Addison Feda and Oklahoma, the #1 ranked Sooners, trying to continue their role after winning another national title last year. They get the win in Lexington. We'll wrap up after this. taking on Missouri, and then Auburn and Georgia this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time on SEC Network as well to wrap up the weekend. A couple of fun meets, and that one, LSU Missouri, again, coming up in just a few minutes right here on SEC Network. Oklahoma gets the victory today. You see our meet summary. Now, after the fourth rotation, you saw what Faith Torres did to close things out there. The 2025 SEC Beam champ. Wouldn't want anyone else wrapping up the day for Oklahoma. We just talked to Addison Feda, who had a fantastic day herself in the all-around. And we will take a look at Addison's highlights from the day.
Addison was a rock star today, as always. Found her feet on so many landings, like on this vault right here. And college gymnastics just comes easily for Addison Feda.
Taking a look at the all-around, it was Delaney Rodriguez who won the all-around and had the all-important score in that final rotation for Kentucky. For them, hit a 196 for the first time today. So that was big for the Wildcats moving forward here to gather that momentum and continue to build off of it. Just looked like a different Kentucky team, though, Kennedy, versus what we saw last week.
Yeah, Kentucky didn't edge out the win from Oklahoma, but they beat themselves. When we talked to head coach Tim Garrison, he said their biggest competition is themselves, and this is going to be a huge momentum builder for Kentucky.
You see here our gymnasts of the week. We got to watch Mackenzie Estep today, the super impressive freshman for Oklahoma. That was her second SEC Freshman of the Week award. It's been known that Oklahoma has swept the award so far through the month of January. Kaylin Chio talked about her top gymnast of the week. She is coming up next on SEC Network against Missouri. And Riley McCusker has been phenomenal for the Gators, specializing in the bars this season. Saw that score 9.975 tied for the highest in the NCAA this year. So that earned her that Event Specialist of the Week award in the SEC. SEC, of course, dominated the preseason poll at 9 out of the top 12. And you see right now in the national rankings, Oklahoma sitting atop at #1, and rightfully so. They will face Alabama next week. That's going to be a fun meet. We'll keep an eye on that one. You'll be there, Kennedy. And now upcoming in the SEC next week, we talked about it there. So Alabama and Oklahoma, highly anticipated, 8:45 Eastern time on SEC Network. You're going to be there for that one, Kennedy. What are you looking most forward to with that?
Well, we've got two super competitive teams. You're looking at Alabama ranked 3rd, Oklahoma ranked 1. That's going to be a battle.
Absolutely. All of that on the ESPN family of networks. You see what's coming up. And right now, in the immediate time, we have LSU and Missouri coming up next in Columbia, gearing up for that one. #2 LSU, #7 Missouri. And here the Wildcats build momentum, and those are the moments that the aspiring gymnasts never forget, the next generation. As Addison Feda walks off and this crowd hangs around soaking in the scene. Our entire crew behind the scenes, you guys were phenomenal. For Kennedy Baker, I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long. We'll send you to Columbia.